From the time I was a kid, I was never still, and I've never been one to wait for things to happen to me. I've heard it said that only amateurs wait for inspiration. Professionals get up every day and go to work. In other words, proper artists don't hope that inspiration will come to them. They actively seek it out. At first, I just wanted to travel, and photography was a way to allow me to do that. I've been interested in drawing and painting since I was about 10 years old and became interested in photography when I was 19. My dad always loved taking pictures. He had an old Argus C3 camera, and I remember when we were kids, we had a Kodak Brownie as children. The first camera I ever owned was a Kodak Instamatic. I took it with me on my first long trip to Europe in the summer after I graduated from high school in 1969. It was a simple point-and-shoot camera, but I remember working with my father trying to figure out how to use it before I left. And when I got to Europe, I traveled for a month or two and eventually went and lived with a family in Sweden who had teenage children, including a boy who was an amateur photographer. We would go on long walks around Stockholm taking pictures. It was my first experience of wandering the streets of a city with no purpose, no expectation, just to look, observe, and watch people and experience life. I enjoyed being able to walk around and photograph without any deadlines, without any assignments, or any pressure, just the world as it was as my blank canvas. I started my life in photography without any resources, without any money, but I was free. I was completely able to wander and explore the world. Everything was fresh and new. It was exciting to go out, photograph something for the first time. I studied cinematography in college, and at that time took a fine art photography class, and I immediately fell in love with photography. That class in still photography changed the course of my life. I loved everything about it. I loved the wandering, the solitude, looking for that serendipitous moment. There was no script, there was nothing planned. It was just being free and observation. Filmmaking is a collaborative enterprise, usually involving crews of people, a demanding script, the post-production, pre-production. But photography is more immediate. It's a solitary craft. I love the idea that I could wander around unscripted, unrehearsed, looking for that serendipitous moment, that fleeting moment when an image appears before your viewfinder and you're able to just capture it. Those first few years of photography were a really carefree time. I would just walk out the door with my camera, some film in my pocket, and start to work. I alone could decide what to frame, what to shoot, how to build the image, what should be included, the light. Everything was just there for me to decide how to craft the picture. By the time I graduated from college, I had decided I didn't want to spend my life in an office, or even a studio, or a film set. I wanted to spend it seeing the world, experiencing foreign cultures, satisfying my curiosity, and learning about this world that we live in. Becoming a photographer would offer me that world. Before long, it turned to a sort of meditative practice, something which I did repeatedly over tens of thousands of times. And this is my life and the career which has been most rewarding. And I can't think of anything I would rather do than photograph, see the world as it is.